Hello and welcome to the Cameron Sadeghi Show. I am your host, Cameron Sadeghi. We just have had a great Week 7 of the National Football League. We had so many finishes, so many games that really came down to very close calls, close plays. Especially the one that just concluded, actually two that just concluded right now, between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, as well as the Oakland Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Before I get to my reaction to the Patriots game and the Raiders game, I will give you scores and updates in regards to around the league. Let's start with today's best and biggest shootout between the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. The Titans, somehow, someway, they come into Buffalo and they edge them out by 1 point, 35-34. Dallas, they do similar, but in a low-scoring input. They edge out the Panthers 19-14. Another opposite of edging out teams, blowing out teams. That's what the Houston Texans did today. 43-13 against a Ray Lewis and Ladarius Webb-less Baltimore Ravens team on the road. In Indianapolis, Chuck Strong, Chuck Pagano, still fighting through cancer. According to Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Colts, he is back home, released to his home. He saw the game at home. Yes, the Colts, still Chuck Strong. They beat the Cleveland Browns 17-13, led by Andrew Luck's 2 rushing touchdowns. Minnesota, all they do is win. There is that song that Skip Bayless created about Tim Tebow. Might as well we just create one about the Minnesota Vikings, because all they do is win. They improved to 5-2, and they beat the Arizona Cardinals at Mall of America Field 21-14. The Giants, on the other hand, all they do is win as well. The Super Bowl defending champions stun Robert Griffin III and company with the long Victor Cruz touchdown to respond Robert Griffin III's throw to Santana Moss to what seemed like was going to be the game winner in the Big Apple, but Eli Manning's poise and Eli Manning's throw wins there 27-23. Green Bay and what if I told you that the St. Louis Rams were the same record as the Green Bay Packers before the season? You'd probably think I'm crazy. Well, actually I wasn't, and I never even said that, so I'm not crazy when it comes to the Rams or the Packers. But anyways, they both entered at the record of 3-3 in St. Louis. They go in there, and Aaron Rodgers, the defending MVP, comes in and rips it apart. He had 2 TD connections with Randall Cobb, and he had 3 touchdowns total, 2 of them to Cobb. He was on a tear. 30-20 victory on the road for the Pack. Now, the other shootout that ended in controversial fashion. The New Orleans Saints beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, Josh Freeman on 4th and goal throws to the end zone for a touchdown, but the receiver was pushed out of bounds. So, as you know the ruling, when you're pushed out of bounds, you cannot come inbounds. That was the ruling that was confirmed on the field, and they decided no touchdown, Saints win. It was also Jonathan Vilma's first game of the 2012-2013 season, fresh off of a suspension after the bounty system. New England, the game that I'm going to talk about very shortly, they facing the Jets. They are facing the Jets. They did face the Jets, and they edge out the Jets 29-26 in overtime. Yes, the Patriots, who they've lost all their games by a combined of 4 points. People thought, uh-oh, here come the New York Jets. They're coming back. They came back from a 10-point differential, scored 13 unanswered points. But Tom Brady's late-game heroics saved the New England Patriots. They came back, marched downfield, kicked a field goal right at the end to go into overtime. Then New England gets in overtime. They kick a field goal. They give it to the Jets back. The Jets, 1 touchdown, wins the game. But as Sanchez tries to find a receiver, he loses the football, fumbles it on a sack strip fumble, and the Jets lose in dramatic fashion. Another team that lost in dramatic fashion, a Blaine Gabbert-less squad and a Maurice Jones-Drew-less squad. They were both knocked out of the game, and their team loses by 3 in overtime in the West Coast at McAfee Coliseum in Oakland. Carson Palmer with his late game heroics get the victory there in Oakland. So, those are all the scores for today's action around the NFL. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the New England Patriots winning, but they could have won by a lot more. I'll explain all of that in a moment. Okay, so, as I promised, Jets-Patriots reaction. I want to hear your reaction as well. All you have to do is tweet me at SM_Cameron if you want to talk about the NFL. Alright, so, you can talk about that, any reaction you have to any of the games. Please, you can do that as well. Or you can take the other way. Just call in at 949-456-2911. And that will be the gateway to getting onto the program and getting your thoughts heard only on the Cameron Sadeghi Show. So, you can express your thoughts, but I want to give my thoughts about the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Look, I know the Jets are over-publicized, and I understand that, okay, the Tebow talk's annoying, and Sanchez talk is annoying, and Rex Ryan is annoying, and, well, only if you're a Jets fan you disagree, okay? Here's the problem that I saw in today's game. New England should have won by a lot. They really should have. And you know, that's a great compliment to the Jets in a way, because when they were turning the football over, when they were committing the silly penalties, when they were doing all these things, they fought. They fought to the end, and they came down swinging. That was very telling of the New York Jets. Something really telling of the New England Patriots was just both positive and negatively. Positively, I have to say, they finally close out the game. Now, say what you want about, oh, well, you know, New England, they gave up the 13 points. I agree with you. But you go in there, and Tom Brady, he looked shaky in the fourth, but he came through. When New England was desperate, and when New England needed to make those throws, and when New England needed those plays, rolling out to his right, finding Welker, finding Hernandez, he did it again. And, I mean, it shouldn't be surprising, but just these past few weeks, we haven't really seen it as much that we've grown accustomed to when it comes into regards to Tom Brady. That was the thing that really shined positively. And you know what? The penalties that New England didn't commit, the way that they ran the football, I thought those were all positives. Now the negatives, the defenses. Are you kidding me, New England? How do you give up that many 20-plus yard plays? And I know we've seen it so many times, but there's got to come to a point where you got to at least challenge Mark Sanchez. I mean, you're going to go into the zone defensive scheme that much. That's downright egregious. Challenge the guy. Challenge Mark Sanchez. You know he can't make those throws in those type of windows. Might as well make it hard on him. Just because you're afraid that he's going to throw a deep pass, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take a gamble and go into your aggressive man-to-man. Every single time New England went to the aggressive man-to-man, it was either a turnover or the Patriots got an incomplete or got a bat down or was incomplete pass. Not a positive play. But when the Patriots went to the zone, I mean, Mark Sanchez was just tearing them apart. He was just picking them apart. The zones, I mean, there were huge holes. Easy to throw. What's going on with the New England Patriots and their zone scheme? It's horrific. I mean, look, I don't do a ton of rants here, and I try to tone that down as much as possible, but how could a team of this stature almost lose to a team that's by far inferior to them? How is that possible? I'm a little worried if you're a New England Patriot fan, or if you think the New England Patriots are going to the Super Bowl, which I've said, I'd be a little bit worried. Sincerely. You don't go into games, you don't go and have big leads by 13 against a team that really hasn't been stopping the run lately, an overrated defense, and you don't run the football at the correct time. They either did too many short passes in my mind. I thought they should have taken their chances deep a little bit more. It just didn't seem any balance. It was so out of whack in the fourth quarter. In the second half, the offense looked stagnant. But I mean, at the end, I mean, look, credit to them. They really saved that one. But seriously, don't go into games in that fashion and just stink it up. New England's gotta reveal that within themselves. This is not the New England Patriots I'm usually accustomed to. This is not the team that... This team, if they lose, if they are having games like this, it's going to be really hard for them in the playoffs. They've got to find a balance and a continuity. For 60 minutes, not for, 40 minutes, not for 35 minutes, not for 59 minutes. It's got to be 60 minutes of complete football. Credit to Patriots, their defense and special teams bailed them out today. How does the highest scoring team not have a great day against the Jets team that I believe is overrated? I've come on here and say that they're the New York Not Yets. And I still think they're the New York Not Yets. They still have a ton of improvement. Yeah, they should have, could have, would have won this game, but they didn't because they shoot themselves in the foot, and B, they can't get anything done on offense, which is check, check, check. We saw all those things today, and the New York Jets lose again, which isn't surprising. So, sorry Jets fans, that's reality. You can say all you want about how you could have won, but you're just like those other teams that always crumble when it matters most, and they always, choke when it matters most. And people are saying bring in Tim Tebow. No. Tim Tebow doesn't alleviate all the problems. Would he be an upgrade? Possibly. Turnovers wise, possibly